Welcome to Fouts Boxing Theory and this full fight breakdown of Devin Haney versus Prograis. But first, go ahead and give that video a like. Go ahead and leave a comment if you want at the end of the video and subscribe to the channel. We're going to be breaking down this entire fight here and kind of why it looks so easy for Devin Haney. Now, if you notice, the first punch that he throws kind of pushes Regis Prograis off his line. If we take a look at that here, he's on the front foot. He was already kind of about to make this motion, and Devin Haney liked to attack him as he would come to the front foot and then attack him and kind of push him away. And this would give Devin Haney a little bit of space while Regis Prograis was on the back foot to kind of circle and use lateral movement to get around Prograis. Now, as Prograis would bring his weight forward, his next move would be to get to this position, but this is also the position that he would punch out of as well. So Devin Haney would sometimes kind of get lucky, and they would kind of smash jabs together here throughout the course of a lot of the fight. But that was a very, very major point of contention for where the fight was going to take place. Now, as we see Regis Prograis starting to pay attention, we can take a look at Devin Haney's head, what side of the line he's on, what side of the line that Devin Haney's on. Or Regis Prograis on, and Devin Haney throwing that jab, trying to pin him there. Again, allowing him to have space while his opponent's on the way back to the back foot to circle and move around. Again, feinting him here, and Regis Prograis with a really, really excellent pull counter here. Again, Regis Prograis wasn't exactly out of the fight, but he did have a very difficult time chasing Haney around. And we're going to talk about a few of the reasons why there were a few really weird things going on. Number one, if we take a look at this clip, he's going to be on the inside. This is really interesting here. Okay. Take a look at where his foot is going to be when he steps here. He winds up stepping on Prograis' foot, and this is something that kind of happens on accident. Southpaw orthodox positions. Devin Haney steps with his every punch that he throws, but he's going to be using this punch again. Control him. Steps on his foot. Takes a step off. Okay. Again, crossing the line, making it to the left side of the line, throwing that jab. Now pay attention to that jab here real quick. Okay. He's going to throw this one at Regis Prograis' glove. He's not even trying to hit him. He's just trying to control space so that he can continue using lateral movement and circling around Regis Prograis to not get stuck on the line, to not get pinned down himself, right? As we saw Devin Haney was able to take advantage of. And then again, circling, very, very important timing here. Now, Regis Prograis finding an opportunity there to stab through on that timing and expecting to get attacked as well, right? Again, same position, makes it just a little bit to that line, and we can see that Prograis was trying to fight in that position, and Devin Haney is trying to shoot that jab. See if he can pin him down there, right? See if he can attack him, keep him out of that position, keep him on the back foot, and continue opening up space in the ring for him. Now, this is very interesting because if we take a look at this clip here, we're going to take a look at Devin Haney and see how he's gonna in the shoulder roll stance, right? He's in the bladed stance, but his left hand is down. This means that he's gonna throw a jab from the right side of the line, and he wants to follow up. And again, this position where they're in this position here, and they both wind up in that right side of their lines, on the inside of their lines and stepping here. Prograis winds up like not really coming out ahead, right? He does wind up hitting with the right hand here, but this is again a very common timing, right? A very common problem. And later on in the fight, I think actually both of them would resort to not throwing rear hands and only throwing jabs. Okay, now again, Haney is in that stance where his left hand is not really up. He's not really on the left side of the line. He's going to throw this little feinting jab here, and he notices that Prograis is not going to be pull countering. He's not really like flinching or making a move. So he's going to jump in the line and throw a shot at him, see if he can trap him again with that same shoulder, though. Look at how the left shoulder is down, the left hand is down. Boom. And that means he's going to follow it up here. I'm going to take a look at a few more little sequences here. Again, same thing. Boom, boom. And Prograis trying to come back, but again, if we take a look at his foot, right? Well, not exactly stepping on him. He kind of their feet kind of. He just barely gets his foot on, behind his foot and right in front of it. And there was just a lot of stuff where it was kind of catching Prograis off guard a little bit more than Haney. There is a sequence in here where Haney's foot's going to get trapped a little bit as well. But again, timing him here on that same kind of movement inside as he's getting to the line, making it to the line. Boom, and now Prograis did this really weird thing. Okay, we're going to talk about it in this clip here, but as he's circling, right, he's going to make it to the front foot. Boom, jab, stepping jab, right? Give him some. And now look at him circling to the inside here. Okay, look at him circling to the inside, not cutting the ring off from Haney, but trying to move in a direction where he can set up his pull counter a little bit easier, which is, fine in some instances. But that instant is when your opponent is coming to you, and Devin Haney's not really doing that. So we're going to talk about that again. Very, very interesting thing that was going on. Again, Devin Haney, left hand's down. He's not on the right side of the line. Throws the shot, tries to follow up. And as we see, he's not really landing against Regis Prograis, right? A lot of those sequences that he would throw punches, he would get a lot of control. Prograis wouldn't counter, and sometimes he would counter to the body, but a lot of times he would just give Devin Haney a lot of control. As you see Devin Haney holding his head down here, he still winds up eating a body shot and then another body shot there. Regis Prograis, pretty dangerous, but again, following it up, not really landing, not really following up, and scoring blows, even though he had a lot of control, even though he would throw punches at Regis Prograis, and Regis Prograis wouldn't really throw punches back. And, I think that that's an important idea, because if you're not able to counter, it's not really good defense. Okay. Now, again, Prograis coming forward, shuffling forward. And notice each time his head gets into this slot here, each time he's going to cross the line here and then go to the back foot and feint him. And he's going to get to that point in the line right here where he's going to meet Haney's head, right, and starts controlling him, pushing him off, makes his front, then starts penduluming forward, controls him again. Again, he's going to give him another pendulum, right? A lot of attacks here, but all in that same position. And we can see that Regis Prograis really starting to understand where it is that Devin Haney is looking to attack him. Again, at the start of this clip, seeing if the pull counter is going to work, seeing if it's going to be there, right? Devin Haney shoots a jab, and this looked like it hurt him, right? Now let's take a look at the timing. He's on the front foot, the back foot. He's going to go to the front foot, and he's moving to the back foot. Devin Haney's going to launch that stepping jab, boom, tap him here. And I think while he's on the back foot, he tries to take a step forward, but his foot gets caught again on Devin Haney's foot. Now he gets tapped up here, boom, and he eats actually a really good shot from Devin Haney right here. But again, I think it started off of just a little bit of tying up of the feet here again, and it just made Prograis look so much worse. Even though he's following up here, landing two good shots. The highlight of that sequence, even though Prograis landed two body shots, was still Devin Haney's headshot there. Really, really good shot. Now again, boom, pull counter, right? Again, testing him, see what are you going to do, right? Again, he's very dangerous. And Haney stepping with the jab, boom, not trying to hit him, right? He wasn't scoring with his jab most of the time. He was just trying to throw it at Prograis' guard to get him to react, get him to do something, get him to explode and waste his not his energy, right? But waste that timing. Again, still very dangerous to pull counters, and very, very good timing there from Prograis getting on the line. Boom. Kind of maybe eats this jab, makes it to the body here, and then blocks this shot here. Excellent, excellent shot. Really, really good sequence from Prograis, but that one being kind of an exception, right? Very, very, very uncommon throughout the fight for him to be able to defend all those shots. Now, very, very interesting sequence here. Haney's going to get to the line, shoots this jab, and now watch the next move that Prograis does. Poop, he kind of ducks down here. Now Haney's going to jump on the line. He's going to, okay, I see what you're doing here. And he jumps on the line and throws a wide right hand to try to kind of scoop Prograis' head into that same arc, where if he was ducking the same way, he might catch him. Very similar to Charlo versus Erickson Lubin when he ducked below a shot. Ran into a heavy shot. But most of the fight was kind of fought here on these timings here. And again, this very, very interesting thing, because we see him here cutting the ring off from Devin Haney, and now he's going to start circling to the inside around him and allowing Devin Haney to get out, right? So he can set up this kind of pull counter thing, right? Again, chasing him, but he let him out at the corner there. Now he's going to do the same thing. He's going to chase him around here, get him to the position where he's going to have to come straight in, right? Devin Haney doesn't have very much space to make lateral movement, right? The ring is getting cut off. He only has so many more moves. And Regis Prograis takes a step on the inside here. He makes a huge fundamental mistake, allowing Devin Haney to get lead foot dominance out that angle. and he just controls him with the jab. And even though Prograis looks like he's countering, Devin Haney's countering too, but he has the positional advantage. He's on the inside, and now Devin Haney's allowed to escape. And Prograis made that mistake over and over and over again. Now, pretty sly little move here from Devin Haney. Again, Prograis having a very difficult time mounting his offense, always coming forward, making it to the front foot, penduluming toward the back foot, boom, throwing a double jab. Devin Haney jumps off the line, down, up, throws a strike, and then controls with the left hand on the way out. Decent move, decent move. I liked the uppercut. It made a good sound. Now, again, I can't. You can see that he steps on his foot here, and then it winds up allowing him to get out of the corner. Um, you know, very very interesting stuff with the footwork. Again, nobody's fault explicitly, except for I would say the coaches, right? You need to be able to teach your fighter where their feet are supposed to go, so they know where they're supposed to go at all times. Now, this is a really interesting sequence again because most of the fight has been predicated off of Devin Haney's jab and Prograis' jab, and then also Prograis' rear hand pull counter off of Devin Haney's anything basically. He throws a jab pull counter, throws a right hand pull counter. But here, Devin Haney makes it to the front foot here, and he's going to throw a rear hand, a very surprise rear hand from the front foot position, which I call position one. Um, and he's going to throw this shot, and he kind of disguises it. This is something that Regis Prograis was not doing. Every time he made it to the front foot, he would just continue penduluming and then try to shoot into that double jab. And we saw Devin Haney picked up on it, right? Regis Prograis seemed to have a massive lack of openers. Now, the next round, that was at the end of the round, by the way. This is the beginning of round 3 here. Prograis comes forward, taking control of that line, not allowing Haney to establish a presence on the line, pushing him off when he gets to that position. Oh, you ain't gonna fuck with me here. Crossing the line, coming forward, pull counter. Devin Haney catches him, kind of scrapes him with a little bit of a hook, but he starts using that thing again, circling to the inside instead of continuing to cut the ring off, putting pressure on Devin, putting pressure, boom. Again, circling to the inside, trying to set that pull counter, trying to set those traps up. But again, why not continue just going forward and taking the lead foot dominance and then stealing a shot when your opponent has to circle out, right? He just gives it up. And then Devin Haney gets into a position again where he can still try to counter with the hook here. See how he gets this post here and he's able to control his head, right? He almost pays for it. He almost gets hit. I'm sure that the left hand lands. Now, Devin Haney again, pretty clever with making his offense, checking the line here. We'll see that sometimes he'll throw a jab and then Prograis will pull counter. And in this case, he's going to throw a couple of jabs, little probing stuff here. What are you doing here? Any pulls? Anything? Anything? And again, he's had so many jabs that he just throws at the guard, and they're impossible to pull counter because Devin Haney's so far away. He throws a jab here, and Prograis doesn't counter. So now he's going to just jump on the line, boom, boom, throws a 1-2, and then jumps off the line. Making sure that he checks it to see if it's safe, see what Prograis' most likely reaction is in that moment. Okay, now again, throwing that jab at the guard, taking a step off the line, and then again, no reaction from Prograis on the first one. Boom, and now he's going to dip to the inside here. So Haney's going to jump in. When he dips to that side, try to catch him with a little uppercut. Just like a tiny little adjustment, tiny little trick. I do not suggest doing that move. There are many, many, many more efficient moves in boxing than what Haney did, but it worked out for him. Rather, it didn't not work out for him. Now, Prograis coming forward, getting to that position, feinting, controlling Haney, boom, boom, getting to that position, again, putting a lot of pressure. And now he's going to land here, and he's going to take this step, and that triggers Devin Haney. Devin Haney says, okay, he's probably going to throw a jab. He's probably going to do a thing. And he winds up timing him and hitting him with the right hand and dropping him. Now, again, all of these sequences, when he gets to this position, boom, starts attacking, right? Now he's going to make it pendulum, feinting him here. Make it to that position. Boom, throw a jab. He's going to make it to that position. He's been putting all this pressure to cut the ring off from Haney. Haney reads it and says, okay, on this one, I'm going to interact with him when he comes forward with that stepping jab and winds up timing him. Really, really, really excellent timing throughout the course of this fight from Devin Haney. He was really, really sharp. He fought a really, really good fight. And I want to say it wasn't boring. I know that it wasn't as much action as like most of the fights we want to watch, but it wasn't boring. It was fun. I enjoyed watching it. I cringed at the footwork that Prograis was giving, right? Like in this sequence here, he makes it. He's almost got the ring cut off, but he starts again taking that step to the inside here, and just allows Devin Haney to circle out. He has no opportunity to follow up, and look at him even getting stuck, falling off balance here. Now again, a lot of the offense in this fight, it's kind of like, I don't want to say hit or miss, like, but he comes here, jab, right, boom, and then he ducks, right? He's gonna guard his body. Did that really land? I don't really know. Controls the head, takes a step out. Prograis tries to counter to the body. Boom, boom. Jumps on the line with the quick 1-2. Misses the shot, right? Psh, psh, right? Again, a lot of control over the line. Not as many countering opportunities, or not as many opportunities taken by Prograis as I thought he would have. Um, but again, many of the punches in the fight were not cleanly landed. Were not, in spite of that good knockdown from Haney. Um, Again, circling to set up the pull counter, and then Prograis actually throws a double right hand right there. Let's go ahead and our left hand, boom, circling to the inside again. Pendulums here, front foot, sees the hand coming, pulls that timing, throws the shot, almost gets him, just about gets him, and then throws the second shot just as Devin Haney's throwing a hook off the line. But that's about it. That's the fight. You know, there wasn't much different in the fight throughout the course of the fight. There were some opportunities where Devin Haney winds up landing some decent hard shots, but most of the offense in the fight was pretty easily seen by Prograis. He just wasn't countering off of it as much as he should have been to get the value. But also, like I said, one of the things that we're going to talk about at the end of the fight, number one, Prograis wasn't coming forward with the right hook or the right cross from the right side of the line. He would wait and come back to the left side of the line and throw it as a probing shot. Another thing, when he would make it to the front foot, he would always come back and pendulum back so he could walk forward instead of attacking the line with his rear hand, right? Instead of just throwing his straight left and trying to set up a right hook, right, which we just talked about, not really his forte, right? The right hook. He doesn't have a real leaping right hook, but not really very many attacks from the front foot. It was just kind of move from the front foot and then pull counter into a left hand, or move from the front foot into a back foot jab, bop, bop, to set up a left hand, which he hardly ever even let go. I think he threw it a few times, um, in times that were not where it was a pull counter, because again, most of the time he was just waiting to go second. He didn't really try to go first very much. And again, I'm not sure if that had to do with how often he would step on Haney's foot, or if it was just Haney was too elusive, on the line, doing a decent job with his circling and his lateral movement. But Haney actually fought a pretty good fight. It was very, very, very few fouls, um, and like they were honest mistakes. Like, nothing, blatantly illegal. There was like a couple of times where like, but you know, a pretty fair fight, and he whooped Prograis. You know, um, Prograis looked really bad actually, um, and Haney looked like pretty good. Um, I still obviously, like, even in that right hand where he dropped Prograis, still taking a big step onto the line and throwing that shot. See if we can go ahead and find it. That was a good shot. See how he throws this shot here, guys? And he's planted before he lets it go here, right? He's planted and he throws it too. And see how his front foot still comes forward, right? Dropping forward. Not this one. But again, still taking a big step to leap into this shot here. Boom. So, anyway, I think that it was a pretty good performance from Prograis. or from Devin Haney. I think that Prograis' strategy, number one, uh, he would do a decent enough job putting pressure on Haney and getting him to the ropes. And then just like De Los Santos, he wouldn't actually fight him there. And it was the weirdest thing. He wouldn't fight Shakur there. He would let him off. And in this one, he tried to circle to the inside. He gave up the lead foot dominance. He gave up the positional advantage and would let Haney walk. And, you know, Haney's a guy that's been, he fights really well at advantage. He's been the guy who's been the bigger on average, faster guy for his whole career. And, with Prograis giving up all the stuff that he worked for, right? On the outside, that's what you're working for as a positional advantage as the guy circles and moves away from you. And he gets him into a positional advantage where he's going to cut the ring off and maybe he can throw some haymakers, get him on the ropes like he did with Zarya. And he just lets him off. He just lets him skate. He doesn't get any value, you know. It was a puzzling performance from Prograis to say the least, but I guess we have to give, at least half of that credit, I think, to Devin Haney. He fought a pretty smart fight. Um, Obviously, there were still holes. Um, Again, always having to step with his punches eventually is going to cost him. But yeah, where does he go from here? With a fight, with a performance like that, there's a decent likelihood that he might be able to beat Subriel Matias. Matias? You guys are so funny. But that might not actually be the worst fight for him if he can maintain his circling, his ability to keep moving, and not let himself get pinned down. But Matias is actually, you know, much better at circling and cutting the ring off and putting you in a position in which you have to fight. But I also think that, I do think that Prograis is fast and on average a better puncher than Matias. Um, and I also think that Prograis is probably stronger, more importantly, than Matias. And Haney didn't look to seem to have very much trouble um, interacting with Prograis, stopping him from fighting him and slinging, big bombs on the inside by tying him up. Now, Matias has much better footwork than Prograis. He's got, very similar pull counter style. And if you had to say, like, what would the fight look like with like Matias and Haney, it might look really similar, except that Matias is going to look to body up with him and be really close to him at all times. Um, but it might look really similar because Matias does like to have pull counters, right? He does like to open up with those defensive moves, pulling, just like Prograis did, and that might mean that Devin Haney has enough space if he can control enough space against Subriel that he could shut him out in a similar way, you know. Mm. Anyway, um, yeah, Prograis. Well, he needs to work on his double jab for sure. Um, Needs to work on his rear hand probe. You know, the fact that he can't throw his rear hand probe when he gets to the front foot to check the line. He had so few openers, right? It was pull counter with the left and back foot jab, and the back foot jab literally never went anywhere the whole fight. So anyway, there's a level of fighter that is never going to be able to compete with Prograis. There's a level of fighter that'll never be able to compete with Devin Haney, even though they're both limited in their skills. There's just a level of fighter that they'll always be able to beat. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where Devin Haney goes from here, because does he want to fight? Maybe he calls out Tank at 140, right? Says Tank, okay, you can move up 5 pounds. You never make 135 anyway, which is not true. I think he did. Well, the Garcia fight was at 36, right? Anyway, um, Yeah, I don't think that going to 47 is a good move for him. Um, if he goes to 47, right? There's like Stanionis, right? If he could get a fight with Stanionis, but like Stanionis is already like title contention, right? Like he's probably gonna have to fight Boots, to be honest. Boots will probably like just mop the floor with him. But Devin Haney's not gonna fight Boots, right? Is Devin Haney gonna fight like who is there, right? Is he gonna fight Bud? No, right? I think they're moving it to 54 anyway, Spence and Bud. So there's Boots, Keith Thurman, right? To be honest, that would be a wild fight, but um, I've never seen Keith Thurman be gun shy. I don't think like Prograis felt tonight. Um, and the only person to beat Thurman, really beat him, is Pacquiao, right? I'm like almost no shame in losing to Pacquiao, right? He's definitely one of the goats for the generation for sure. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what Devin Haney's gonna do. Maybe he'll look for a fight against Subriel. It'd be interesting. Maybe he can do it if he can do this, right? I don't know. I don't know. But again, I also didn't think that moving to 140 was going to be a good fight for him. I wasn't confident that Prograis was going to pull it off, but all the film suggested that he had the skills to beat Devin Haney. Um, but yeah, it was actually, you know, even though like people in my Discord didn't like the fight, and I was not happy with Regis Prograis' performance. I enjoyed watching the fight. I thought it was at least um, boxing. You know, it was boxing. That's what I think boxing is, right? It's not about holding. It's not about running or ducking below the waist. You know, um, Devin Haney did a decent job countering his opponent. He did a decent job landing when he went first, and he did a decent job landing when his opponent went first. It was a good fight. So anyway, um, we will be watching the full fight on Patreon and breaking it down. Um, so check out Patreon, and also this week we'll be doing um, a training, and I'll be teaching you guys some power punching, some YouTube guys. I got some clips from you guys, and we're going to be breaking them down and talking about some things, and we're going to make it a kind of a series going forward. Um, yeah, it's going to be a good time. So if you guys want, send in your training footage here, marvelous@gmail.com. This is a 4, and this is a 0 here, not an O, it's a 0. Um, Send in some clips, just some YouTube links, and then we'll get them on the show for this week. And yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and come back for the free boxing coaching. All right, later, guys.